Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Appreciate you jumping on. Today, we are going to hear from BlackRock. We are going to hear from Tom Emmer. We are going to hear from Eleanor Tourette, Vandell, Coach JV, Meta Lawman, and a couple others. Lots happening in the crypto industry. Lots happening on Capitol Hill. Let's jump into the prices to start off. Finally, some upside on Bitcoin and other cryptos here. Bitcoin sitting at 62,966, up 5.88% in the last 24 hours. Ethereum up 5.66%, sitting at 2,428. Solana sitting at 140.97, up 10% in the last 24 hours. And XRP up 3.64% in the last 24 hours at 58, almost 59 cents. Good to see it moving in the right direction. We still got, what, 11 days left in September, though, so we'll see what happens here. Let's keep positive thoughts that this is going to continue to rise. Now, let's jump into some news, starting with BlackRock. BlackRock here, shared by Bitcoin Magazine, says new world's largest asset manager BlackRock explains why Bitcoin is important. Now remember, just a few years ago, Larry Fink was not impressed with Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies and spoke very, very negatively on it. Well, they have certainly changed their tune. This from BlackRock. It says why Bitcoin matters. First, it's important to ground ourselves in the fundamentals of what gives Bitcoin its relevance. With its creation in 2009, Bitcoin became the first internet-native monetary instrument to gain broad global adoption. Its technological innovation was the creation of a form of currency that was digitally native, global, scarce, decentralized, and permissionless. Because of these attributes, it produced major breakthroughs to multiple centuries old problems that other forms of money have struggled with. One, Bitcoin's hard-coded supply at 21 million units means it cannot be easily debased. Two, its global, digitally native nature means it can be transported anywhere in the world at near real time at net zero cost, transcending the frictions long inherent in moving value across political borders. And third, its decentralized, permissionless nature made it the world's first truly open access monetary system. Goes on to say what makes Bitcoin relevant. Persistent historical challenges around money are prone to inflation and debasement given a non-fixed supply. What Bitcoin made possible: fixed maximum supply of 21 million units, with supply growth declining every 4 years, aka the halving. Two, persistent historical challenges around money, difficult to transact across borders. In the case of Bitcoin, it's digitally native and borderless, permitting near instantaneous global transfers of value. Number three, the historical challenges around money. Access is limited to one's particular country, controlled by central authority. On the Bitcoin side, first truly open access global monetary system. So a lot of positives there for Bitcoin. You know, we still hear that it may be expensive, and I'm sure that's being worked on. But it has a lot of positives and it's growing. People are interested in having this asset. And now more than ever, institutions are interested in having this asset. So good stuff there from Bitcoin Magazine. Next on to Cypress Demonicor. Here he's talking about yield. He says Visa confirms, why should you never sell digital assets for fiat currency ever again? I'm not going to share all this video. It's a very long one, but I'm going to share a piece of it where he talks about yield with institutions and individuals. So let's get to this portion and let you listen in here.
Blockchain. In the clip here, Smash that thumbs up button and subscribe. I do appreciate the love and support. Let's just take a second and listen to about 4 different video clips from this specific broadcast.
Let's maybe talk about these primitives. We all know Bitcoin is king. Institutions, maybe they're buying Bitcoin. Is that really institutional adoption of crypto? I think you could argue either way. Obviously, most of the primitives seem to be being built predominantly on Ethereum. Ryan, I know that most of the work that you've done in the past has been on Ethereum. You're maybe moving into Bitcoin. How do you see all of that developing?
Yeah, so it's interesting that we're seeing that the ETH ETF is not getting quite the traction that we expected, and people would at a first glance say, well, that just means it's not as attractive to institutions. That's not really the case. Institutions are smart money. They'll go to where the yield and the returns are, and institutions are deciding to go on chain and pursue that staking rate or more compelling yielding rates that are natively available in Ethereum and other ecosystems. Whereas the opportunity cost of holding Bitcoin on a Trezor or holding IBIT.
So I'll pause it right there. He just mentioned word for word that institutions are attractive to the high yield. They're going to materialize and gravitate towards higher yield. Okay. Yes, they're waiting on regulations, but just understanding that sentence and reiterating that in the back of your head, what should you as a retail trader be gravitating towards? Earning yield on your digital assets. Let's listen to a.
So going to stop it there, but this gentleman says institutions are interested in Bitcoin, and Cypress believes individuals can get yield on their crypto. Not financial advice. Do your own research, because there are not a lot of regulations out there yet around yield, so it's a little risky. So please do your own research. Let's jump on to here to Tom Emmer, who says they're scared to death of decentralization because it restores what this country was built on, which is by the people from the ground up. So this is a short clip, but powerful clip. Thank God for Tom Emmer and others like him in the U.S. government. But he is correct. Most of them are scared of the decentralization of crypto because they want control and they don't have it. So let's take a listen here to Tom. Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
They are scared to death. And this is where the Elizabeth Warren attitude comes from, of decentralization, because you know what it changes? It restores what this country was built on, which is by the people from the ground up. They are scared to death. And this is...
Love it, love it, love it, love it there from Tom. He's correct. Elizabeth Warren represents the banks. She's holding things up and not for the right reasons. So thank you, Tom Emmer, for that post. Let's move on to Darkhorse here, who says everyone's questioning why Chris Larsen is moving funds. Chris Larsen of Ripple, who started Ripple. They probably forgot that Chris himself was compensated heavily to assume the risk and responsibility of the fines if they occur. His own email says it. He goes on to show the emails here from Chris Larsen. Larsen moved 50 million XRP recently from a dormant wallet. The suggestion here is he's moving it because he's responsible for paying part of that fine or a portion of that fine to the SEC, which is 125 million. So we'll continue to follow that. Thanks, Darkhorse, for that post. Let's move on to Eleanor Tourette, who says, confirmed, all 5 SEC commissioners will testify together before the Finance Committee for the first time since 2019, next Tuesday, September 24th. So upcoming very quickly. That will definitely be a fireworks event there with the questions to the commissioners and how they've treated the crypto industry. Can't wait to see that. Tune in to my channel, as I'll certainly be following up with clips from that hearing. Let's move on to Vandell from Black Swan Capitalists, who says the Fed just cut 50 basis points, exactly what he predicted. The reason I had a feeling this was inevitable this year, despite many experts saying it wouldn't happen, was because the government needs to refinance its debt every 4 years, and they can't afford to do it with interest rates as low as they were at one time. So hats off to Vandell. The Fed did in fact cut 50 basis points yesterday. They had a press conference at around 2:30 Eastern, in which they announced that 50 basis point drop. So a lot of people think this is bullish for Bitcoin and for crypto. So stay on your toes, folks. Watch to see what happens. And moving on to Coach JV here. Let's see what Coach JV says. He says, "Get ready, Trump and Larry Fink flipped on us. Bitcoin is the future." Let's listen to a little bit of Coach JV here, who I really enjoy.
The video that I did yesterday, think about this. How many of you have seen all over the media that Turkey is getting ready to leave NATO to go to BRICS? Do you see that on media? No. They're not showing you what is actually happening, guys. There is a de-dollarization happening. I'm not saying the US dollar is going to collapse, but there's a transition in your financial system. There's a reason why they all flipped on us to Bitcoin being a flight to quality. So we're going to watch a couple videos here, and I'm going to bring you all the way back to a video with Tika Tawori and Glenn Beck that it's almost like scrubbed off the internet. So I'll give credit to the person who still has it on there. It's a little fuzzy, but it seems like the video has been scrubbed off the internet. If you guys can find it, it was Glenn Beck and Tika Tawori where he broke down at a detailed level exactly how this happens and basically how we're all being played. But check this video out. The media is going nuts on Trump around their announcement on Monday because they flipped on us, right? They flipped from cryptocurrencies a fraud, it's used for money laundering, to we want a piece of this business.
Normally, I would tell you to turn up the volume for a segment like this, but I don't want you to because I might scream. Donald Trump has previously called cryptocurrency a
No, go ahead, scream. Let it out, girl. Let it out.
scam. But in the last few months, he has changed his tune and even announced his own crypto exchange platform called World Liberty Financial. He explained how his sons got him interested in digital currency in an interview on Twitter Spaces tonight. I listened to it, so you don't have to, but here's just a bit.
My kids, Barron knows so much about this.
Right.
Eric, and Barron's a young guy, but he knows it. He talks about his wallet. He's got 4 wallets or something, and I'm saying, what is a wallet? Explain this to me. But he knows this stuff inside out, and Eric and Don know it so well.
They do.
It's almost like younger people know it a lot better than older people. But I have a lot of respect for them. They've shown great judgment, all of them.
Okay, so you can get pissed all you want, ma'am. All due respect, but guess what? The younger generation knows what's going on. We need to start paying attention to what they're doing.
So I'm going to stop it there. It's a longer video, but give Coach JV a follow if you want to hear the rest of it. He's been saying this for a while. The mainstream media, JP Morgan, BlackRock, they say one thing when really in the background they're doing another. Even before they announced that they were going to be on board with crypto and Bitcoin, they were already starting to engage with it. And now, Trump, same deal. He wasn't pro crypto, when he started his presidency, in 2020. But now, previously, excuse me, now he's pro crypto. So, things change. There is no denying that the new financial system is coming. So, moving on to Meta Lawman, he says much respect to @Tyler and Cameron Winklevoss for stepping up to support @Deaton for Senate. If just a few more OGs step up, USMC Major @John Deaton will defeat Senator Warren. And he says who's game, and he tags Michael Saylor, Tim Draper, Mike Novogratz, Scaramucci, and a bunch of others, including Brian Armstrong from Coinbase, Anthony Pompliano, and others. So this is great news for John Deaton, who is going up against Elizabeth Warren for the Senate seat in Massachusetts. And let's go, John. Wishing him all the best as it relates to earning that seat. So That's it for this episode. Click that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you on the flip side.